This is Hyperdensity in Brooklyn. It starts with a first phase project that we did. This is an urban sports arena. This arena does not have one parking space associated with it. It's a 20,000 seat arena that sits on top of 11 subway lines and a commuter rail line. The important thing is it's transit based. This is that first modular tower going up. That's 50, 30, 20 rental housing. And then the two more are going to follow that are all modular. It has, I think, that rhythm of highs and lows and old and new that I spoke about in relationship to London, but a very different context. It is mixed income, as I said before. The street level has a huge amount of attention paid to it in terms of retail and other kinds of uses. The plaza in front of the arena is extremely important, again, in terms of this idea of civic delight and as a kind of mixing bowl. That's one major transit hub in Brooklyn. The other one, if that was civic delight, this is civic distress. This is our main train station, Penn Station. If you've been there, it's a place that if you arrive, you want to get the hell out of as soon as possible. And we were asked in a visioning competition to look at this and look at what could happen with this entire neighborhood. And this is the key point of showing you this. This was an architectural exercise. We were shortlisted along with Diller Scofidio Renfro, Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, a number of very good firms. The one thing I think we tried to do differently is not just look at the architecture of the station, which is abysmal and could be much better, but look at the entire neighborhood and understand what kind of value creation could be there to actually pay for a new train station. We called it Gotham Gateway. We had this idea about a density bowl around the train station. Because that was a bowl, it would let light and air into that new train station. It would have a series of new public spaces. It would have spaces where you could actually see the train you were getting onto, which is impossible right now. It would connect to things like the High Line. It would have a rather extraordinary section through it in terms of the infrastructure and how that related to the density beyond. And most importantly, it created a new ring of development around that station that would pay for the new development. And as architects, we didn't just draw this. We put it in a package, we put numbers next to it, and we sent it to every public official that we have. And we feel that this is one of our roles as designers. It's not just to take commissions, but it's actually to go out and create a different city by thinking about things in a way that I think in some ways only we can. An interesting phenomena that I now see happening in more and more places, which is New York used to be a hub and spoke city. Everyone used to come into one central business district, work, go back to their bedroom community. That in the last 10 years, especially because of the tech sector, has completely changed. Where within the bounds of the city, we now have a network city. There are people who live and work in Brooklyn who go to Manhattan once every 6 months. It's a complete transformation of the way we use our city. So right now, we're working on two projects. They're on opposite sides of the Williamsburg Bridge, Lower East Side and Brooklyn. Starting with the one on the Lower East Side. This is, again, largely 50, 30, 20 housing. We will only design one or two of these buildings. We don't believe we should design buildings that are adjacent. We don't think that makes for good urbanism. This has this extraordinary light scoop that's associated with the subway. This is a big market that actually attaches to the subway. This is south facing because the sun comes from the south where I live. That's that connection across the city. That's what it's like when you come off the subway. So it's not just about using mass transit. It's about using mass transit in a way that's glorious. That's the parks that sit above the retail. There's a new extension of the Andy Warhol Museum, so there's a cultural component. That's the view from the south of the parkscape. This is the Domino Sugar Refinery on the opposite side of that bridge. This is a historic structure. It's where a lot of sugar was packaged, and actually the Havermeyer family, which started Metropolis magazine, and all of that Metropolis industry actually started with Domino Sugar. There was a plan that had been approved. It was universally hated. The developer bought this piece of land, came to us and said, we want to go through public approvals again because we so hate this plan. So we worked on it for a month. We actually proposed higher buildings that was in the original plan that was approved, 200 feet higher. But in the process, we aerated the buildings to actually let light and air back to the neighborhood. We raised all the mechanical equipment out of the floodplain. But then this was the most important piece. We extended an existing street across here and created about 7 acres of new parkland. And we went to the community and said, look, you can have the old plan. You can have shorter, bulkier buildings, but it means you're going to get a lot less park. And do you want to live next to a 300-foot tall building and no park, or a 500-foot tall building and a great park? And we won at the community board 24-4. This just got approved. It was a fairly extraordinary story. We talked about the materials. We showed people the streetscape, a new school. We showed how that factory would become a new tech office space with a waterfront park in front of it. We showed a couple in Manhattan that wish they lived in Brooklyn. We're very, very proud of this, and to us it's proof that you can talk to people about density in a way that actually has them see the benefit of it and actually understand that this is actually a very important thing for the city. So my very last slide, which is to say that the city of the future is not here yet. Obvious statement. We have a long way to go to the city that I'm talking about in terms of a city that delivers the kind of economic, environmental, social joy that it could be. But what's very, very clear to me, and I think increasingly clear to a lot of especially young people around the world, is the cities have the capacity to do this if we plan them well, regulate them well, and work together as a set of disciplines. Thank you so much for the invitation.